Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding program tonight. We're going to be talking about mentoring in music. We have with us Mr. David Jones. He's the founder of Pump Hard Productions and Real Records. He is currently involved in youth mentoring and music training programs locally. David Jones is the founder of Pump Hard Productions and Real Records. He has been doing music for over 42 years and playing professionally for over 37 years. He has been working with youth and music for 35 years. He has 5 songs recorded by major record labels. He has worked with artists such as Melba Moore and Marvin Yancey. He was the music director of DeLeon Richards for several years, including her Grammy-nominated years. He has toured with the Mighty Clouds of Joy, doing one of their anniversary tours. He has done studio work for Word Records, the largest gospel and Christian label in the world. After touring for almost 15 years, he settled down and worked with local artists such as Lou Pride and the Lou Pride Revenue and the Luckett Brothers of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He is currently involved in youth mentoring and music training programs locally. He is a member of Rehoboth Church of God in Christ in Waukegan, Illinois, and he is currently the organist for St. John Missionary Baptist Church with Pastor Jimmy Johnson.
Yes, sir.
And God's Temple Outreach Church of God in Christ. He also serves as chaplain for Mary's Mission since being called to the ministry. Greetings, Minister Jones. You're in the ministry also, right? But in addition to music, when did you get involved in ministry?
Well, I was called to ministry.
Okay.
Probably several years ago. I accepted my calling recently in the last 5-6 years. Commitment level went up.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've been able to do some things like be the chaplain at Mary's Mission. It's a transitional living facility for people that are trying to do better for themselves.
Mm-hmm. What about music? When did you get involved? I know you're from a music family, you know. But when did you officially get involved in music?
Story. My mom and dad told me about when I was 7 years old. On my 7th birthday, that was the latter part of May, I asked them for a piano.
Okay.
Every day, from my birthday until Christmas. And they bought me a piano for Christmas. And it came with a piano teacher. I didn't ask for that. I know my 7-year-old's not asking for no piano teacher.
Okay.
But her name was Mary Emma Dean Smith. And she was an elderly lady, and she used to catch the bus. I'll never forget it. She was about 80, I'd say 85, something like that, when I started taking lessons from her. Strong woman. And she gave me lessons for 5 years in doing classical work. And I remember after I stopped taking lessons from her, she lived another 10 years to torment other children. But she was a joy. And now, you know, I look back on those days, and she helped to mold my life. You know? And that's how I got started in music. I was 7 when I started. I took classical music for 5 years. And I got my first paying job at age 11.
I know music can really shape youth lives. I know you're doing mentoring in music with the youngsters that you have on the program tonight, but I have 3 youngsters, and they all 3 started in music. As a matter of fact, my youngest daughter is over 50 now, and she's a choir director at church. And my son, Waddell Brooks Jr., is a music director at Well, it's
I think that's
Antioch,
Yes.
Baptist Church,
Mhm.
and my oldest daughter plays Yolanda. She plays oboe, she plays drums, and so forth for a Christian Valley Missionary Baptist Church. Now they do that. They start off as a youngster, like the youngsters that you have here, but music is not a career for them,
Mhm.
but it does a lot for the soul.
Amen. I
And,
agree with
and
that.
they are touching the lives of others. But tell us about the youth that you have. Well, you may tell us, how did you get involved with mentoring of youth?
I am a preacher's son.
Okay.
I grew up in strict environment, and when I was young, I could kind of be considered a little freak of nature. I was 6 foot tall when I was 11,
Wow.
but I only weighed 90 pounds. So it was a kind of a, give and take. And that through that, God has a way. He has a plan for everybody's life.
Always.
I had a tailor. My suits were all tailor-made. My godmother was a seamstress. And so I had access to looking the part of an older person. Like I said, I was 6 foot tall. And by that time, I had got sort of proficient in music. And my parents, being who they were, they didn't hinder me in any way. My father was what they call, quote unquote, holiness minister.
Okay.
But he allowed me to play for the music department, children's youth department at First Corinthian. That was the first paying job that I got, and that was over 42 years ago.
Wow.
And from there, I would be playing with the youth then. And a little later on in life, I got the chance to get together with a young lady named DeLeon Richards.
Okay.
She's an adult now, but at the time, she was 3 years old when she had started, her parents had started her into singing. So I was giving her piano lessons, and we were singing locally at churches and things. And one thing led to another, and we did a performance at a Pastor Hinton's church. He's going on to be with the Lord now, but
Okay.
Richard Hinton. And at that church, there was a man there named Ben Bess, Dr. Ben Bess. He was a saxophone player. And he was in charge of the very first Chicago Gospel Fest. It was called the Mary Jane Gospel Fest at that time. And he saw us perform at Pastor Hinton's church. And he jumped up without thinking about it, because the crowd really responded to what was going on with us, because all of us were just little children. Myself, my younger brother was playing the drums. There was a guy named Michael Taylor. Some of you might know him.
Oh, yeah.
He's the music director for Ricky Dillard.
Okay.
And he was playing with us, and Mike Wynn. There was just young musicians from around the community. None of us were over 13 or 14. So the crowd really responded to us. And he jumped up and said, if you want to see this young lady again, she's going to be on the Chicago Gospel Festival. Now, what did he say that for? Once he did that, he had put his word out.
Yeah.
So DeLeon's mother, being the go-getter that she is, she had about 20, 30 of us, all the choir members, the youth choir members and stuff. We were calling that place day and evening, day and night. I heard the little girl's going to be on there. Is it true? Well, we want to get tickets. Now, we gave them about 1,000, 2,000 calls.
Okay.
Because at first, he wouldn't respond to her anymore. He said, well, I just made a mistake. I'm not going to do this. But after such pressure, they put us on the Chicago Gospel Festival, the very first one that they had. And like I say, God has a plan for everybody's life. The program was supposed to feature a certain group. It was Milton Bronson and the Thompson Community Singers, because they had been singing for 30 years. And it did feature them. But they stuck us up at to them, the least opportune moment where we would just get a spot, be there and gone, so he'd keep his word. But what they did is they put us up right at 9 o'clock, and we got national news. CBS, NBC, ABC, and the local Channel 9 caught us on tape. And the Lord just allowed our performance to raise the roof. And from that gave us a chance to do things on a wider scale. So when that happened, we started doing workshops for youth, and that's how I got involved with dealing with the youth and trying to mentor the youth in music. And through trial and error and the things that I had learned, you get better over the years at doing it.
Like you said, God has a plan for everyone's life.
Yes, sir.
And he has a plan for the youngsters that you have here tonight. And I could mention one person is in a front page of the newspaper yesterday, Lee England Jr.
Violinist.
Violinist, yeah.
Yes.
And he started out at Tustin Towers Daycare Center, and his mother had no idea that he would be a violinist. As a matter of fact, he was encouraged, just like you're encouraging the youngsters now. He was encouraged by a school teacher that he had that supplied the violins and the books and so forth for him to play. And now he is a world-renowned violinist.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he planned to do some work here at the Genesee Theater in Waukegan, Illinois now. So you never know, when you're at a young age,
What's going to go on?
what you develop in a later life. It may be professionally, or it may be for your own use.
Or to just help in the community, your local church, or
Right.
something of that nature.
Well, tell us about the.
I have with me right now 4 of the piano students. Well, all 4 are piano students, but one is a piano, drums, and guitar student.
Okay.
And we're starting with the youngest to the oldest.
Okay.
And the reason I had the older gentleman come and do work with us is because he started taking his lessons well into his age, well into his life. And God has blessed his ability to whereas now soon he'll be playing for a church on a permanent basis. He's doing it now, just he's getting his feet wet.
Okay.
But that just lets everybody know it's never too late.
Right.
Music is for everybody, and it's a key to the soul. You can play the right melody, and you can open people up, and you can feed them what you want them to have. Hopefully it'll be the Word of God, but
Right.
we all know that music is used to feed our young people things. And that's one of the things I try to do with my mentoring program, is to teach the young people it's more to life, it's more to music than just having saggy pants and cursing.
Okay.
It's more deeper than that. And the part that a lot of them don't really realize is most of those rap artists and singers and stuff, they're educated.
Okay. Right.
That most of them have backgrounds in English, in communication. But, if you're looking from the outside in, all you see is the glamour in the video. But the music business is just what I said. It's a business. There are many people that make fortunes in music without ever being famous. And that's, you can use it as more than just a hobby. Basically, it's a form of discipline because they have to practice. And I brought some of my best with me. The young man, Donald McCorley, God has blessed him with the ability to read very well. He reads proficiently.
Wow.
He's 8 years old. My next student is Brian Bennett. Brian is doing multiple instruments, and he's trying his hand at singing a little bit yet. I don't know if he's ready to try to sing in front of anybody, but he has done some singing too. And Isaiah is a singer also, and he's a piano player, and Isaiah has started playing for a church. And it can be, more than just a hobby. It can be, for myself, it's a form of sustaining me. It's my income. It depends on how you want to utilize it. It just depends on how far you're willing to take it. I want to let you hear some of the things that they're doing. I want to start off with Brian, the guitar player.
Okay.
And I'm going to accompany him doing a song that was made famous by Hank Williams. Go over here. Give him a hand. Okay, I got it. Okay. Brian, are you ready? Brian Bennett. Oh,
Now, how long has Brian been playing, practicing?
He's been doing the guitar the longest, and that's been less than a year, maybe a year at the most.
Fantastic.
At the most. And his reading level is kept picking up. As I say, it's a mentoring tool because it can teach young boys, and I deal with a few young girls with the help of my wife, discipline, and teach them what real life is about. Because when he started, he couldn't play at all, of course. When you start, that's just like when children are born, they don't speak English.
Okay.
But through a little hard work, ain't that right, Brian? A little hard work and some ups and downs. Now his confidence level, you see his confidence level, he's 8 years old. He's performing in front of the camera and the lights.
Yeah, he's learning work ethic right along at an early age now, sir.
Yes, sir. And I'm very proud of him.
Okay.
The next up we have is, you know what? Let's allow Brian to play some piano music for us.
Okay.
All right. Move this out of the way. All right, here we go. Brian's going to perform for us a song called Swan Lake. Drum, play a beat for us.
So you have a multiple instruments that they play, and not just one instrument.
Yes, sir. I try to get the youth to do more than just one thing.
Okay.
Actually, I'm trying to teach him how to work computers too, to do his own recording. I'm teaching the program slowly but surely.
Wow.
Some of the children's parents have them come to me, and if they come to my home, they have access to a state-of-the-art studio, also beginner studios where they can practice using the equipment, and I don't mind if they break it, you know. And that way they can develop their skills and start seeing what they can accomplish. Brian's done a video in the studio, and he's also done like 3 songs so far on that we put down on CD, so he can take it to his family, and it motivates them to do more. And that's the good thing about it. I mean, it gives them it gives the children a feeling of self-worth. That brings me to my next young man. Donald, are you ready? Donald McCorley. Come on, Donald. Have a seat on the piano. Donald McCorley is especially gifted. He reads music well. With, you know, when you begin with reading, it's sort of like reading just words, but a little more difficult. But it's a discipline. You have to practice doing this. Start on G. Okay. What are you going to play for us then?
All right, very good.
Very good. He has another song that he's working on, and he wants to play it.
Okay.
Start in the key of G. now.
All right, very
Donald
good.
is 8 years old.
Okay.
And at the rate
Wow.
that he's going, I'll give him a couple more years and we're going to have to find him a church to play for too. That's my Donald. Okay, the next person that is coming up, these are all children right now. And this next one I have a special love for. His name is Isaiah. Isaiah McCoy. Isaiah from a single family home, and his mother's doing the best that she can. But sometimes it takes a village to raise a family.
Okay.
And I got a love for Isaiah. I call him son all the time. Come on, son. Come on. And I try to treat him as if he is my son. And not just him, all of the young men that I mentor, I deal with a couple that are older, and it's more than a notion, but with loving kindness, the scriptures say, have I drawn thee. Okay, Isaiah, give us something special. Isaiah it plays for a church, so what we're going to allow him to do is just play some praise and worship tunes.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
All
Very
right.
good.
Very good.
All right. I'm most proud of him.
He sounds like more advanced than
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He gets to
play for a
God,
church. you
yes,
say.
sir. God has blessed him to be able to play every other Sunday at a ministry, at a full-blown ministry.
Fantastic.
A friend of mine, his name is Pastor Mark McCorley. He gave
Okay.
me the opportunity to do this because we have sort of similar visions. He sees more than just himself, and I see more than just myself. As long as these young people live, I'll never die.
Tell me this though. It seems like they're self-motivated. It doesn't take a lot of motivation for them. They're self-motivated. Now you can receive the credits for the one that has one-parent home.
Yes, sir.
Now I would say this to them: there's nothing wrong with being from a one-family home, because I was
No.
raised for one-family home, right? My father left my home when I was 2 years old. And here I'm 83 now, you know,
Bless
and I have my own radio show, I have my own television show, and I wasn't trained, though, at a studio like you have here. This is a God-given talent that I have, And that's the reason I like you say they are raised in the church,
Yes.
you know, and God is the answer. So I would stay motivated in the church, be led by God, and the sky's
Sky is the limit.
here.
Yes. This last young man, young man that I'm going to have do a song for us, his name is Clayton Jones.
Okay.
Clayton came to me, I think he said 62.
Mm.
And Clayton has been taking lessons for a little over a year. He had to stop due to a health concern for a while, but now he's back. And his church had no musician.
Okay.
So I started working with him on just learn this song, and just learn this song. And you get a couple of this song and this songs together, now you know 3 or 4 songs.
Okay.
So he gets him 4 or 5 songs together, and so I kept trying to urge him, man, you need to go and do it. You should just tell him they don't have anything beats nothing. You know, and he's like, no, I'm not ready. And so he took a chance and played for, was it the altar call or for the offertorial part of a service?
Okay.
And it got his, you know, it broke the ice. And now he's doing a little more and a little more. I'm trying to push him to the point where, man, handle the worship experience. That's why God's given you the ability.
That's right.
Clayton, let's see what you can do there.
Actually, this is my first time playing in public.
Okay.
Let you know.
All right.
The church is public. That's beautiful.
Well, I might say that Community Forum can be proud to say that your first time playing in public was on Community Forum.
I appreciate it.
I guess he doesn't consider church public. That was a blessing, Brother Clayton.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming and letting everyone in the world see your talent. Brian, you're on your way. Donna, what can I say about you? You're gifted, son. And you know God is on your side.
Now, what about you? Are you going to give us a...
I will if time permits, but I really want to talk to you about the mentoring aspect
Okay.
of what I'm doing. I've been put in a position now. I wanted to open a music school, and
Okay.
due to, you know, financials, there's more to it than just wanting to do something. It takes backing, it takes, you know, funding,
Okay.
material and things. I wasn't able to get it done at the time that I had the vision, but the
Okay.
vision never died. So I started building a lot of the things and getting to more of the things that I was going to need for the school. And I had my basement remodeled, and I've been utilizing the lower level of my home for this for a while. But now the Lord has opened up a door, and I've got some backing now. I've got some other people that have seen the vision, and through the music and mentoring program, we're now starting to branch out. The next place that we're going to be utilizing what God has given us is in a building that we all know and love in Waukegan as the Towers. That's what they call it in Waukegan, you know.
Okay,
But
right.
it's actually an apartment complex. But there's a lot of residents there and a lot of children. I have some people that have donated the computers already. I have a young man that's going to do the programming. His name is Devarius. He's a very good musician in the community.
Oh, yes.
And he's going to help me out in this endeavor. And we're going to teach these young people how to record music with the computers and how to do their own productions. And we're going to, at the same time, try to teach them that it's more to it than just a notion. Teach them some work ethic. I'm also going to be giving them piano lessons if they choose to have them, singing lessons. I teach guitar, as you can see, the bass, the drums, and I'm pretty proud of my vocal teachings. But that gives them a whole vast area of things that they can do beside just be outside watching older kids that sometimes aren't the best role models nowadays. I really want to do something for our community, and at my age, it's time. If not now, when? You know. So that's where I am with the youth and music and mentoring program. If we have time left, I'll play you a song or something.
Yeah, we like for you to do that. And people, most people in Lake County know Davy Jones. You played so many events,
Yes, sir.
and so many organizations. But now, do you have? I think you an overall plan that you like to use, because if you go for funding, you know, the first thing they're gonna ask you about a plan.
Yes,
Do you have
sir.
an overall plan?
Yes, sir, I do. I would like to have a school filled with adequate teachers beside myself
Okay.
that can do this, that can do the training and the teaching. My wife has a degree in dealing with people,
Okay.
and I want her to use her skills and get others from her field that can do maybe some of the psychological help that might be needed and involved with the youth mentoring and stuff. You really don't want to just try to put all the children in the same basket, because every child has its own needs. I do have a plan as far as community help, church help, that type of thing, but I didn't want to put myself in a position where I had to be government regulated and end up in a situation where Illinois has no money this year, so they stopped the program on my children. Once I start, I want to be able to continue what I'm doing. So that's the reason that I'm going with my personal savings and stuff, and hoping that other people will catch this same vision, churches, but anything that I do or anything that anybody else helps to do, to make this work, it's just going to be an endeavor and a labor of love. We're going to try our best to be self-sufficient.
This is fantastic. You mentioned Deleon Richards, too,
Yes,
right? She's world renowned.
Yes, sir.
And have you contacted her about coming down and sponsoring an event for you?
You know, I talked to her yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You know what? That's a good idea, Mr. Brooks. That's a very good idea. I didn't think of that.
Well, that's family, you know.
Yes, I spoke to her on yesterday, and she did a North Chicago event out here maybe a couple of years ago.
Okay.
North Chicago Day or something for that city.
Oh,
Community Day. That's it. Yeah,
right,
Community Day. So I'm sure she'd be willing to come out here and do something of that nature. She still has roots here. Some of her family is here. So I think that's a good idea.
And I spoke about motivation, but to the youngsters there, but you're highly motivated, so you have to succeed. And
Yes,
to
sir.
be successful in anything, you have to be more highly motivated.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
There is one other thing. I found that no matter what you do, and it's a very delicate area nowadays, trying to teach children about God. And myself, I'm a Christian, so I would say
Okay.
teach them about Christianity. But there's a way that you can let your light shine, and you can let your life be an open epistle where you can minister without having to shove the Bible down someone's throat. If they
Okay.
see you're different and they see that the blessings of God is on your life, they might not know that's what it is, but they'll see everything he touches, something good goes with it.
Okay.
And, you know, people such as myself and you, Christian people, we know what it is. But the world needs a light. They need a light.
Right. How important is parental involvement? I know tonight you have several parents are here.
Yes.
But how important is parental involvement in the success of kids?
It's the backbone of what the child is going to be, or
Okay.
what the child will become. If we can get parents to be involved it would make such a difference if you could just get them to just say, you're doing a good job,
Okay.
or to keep them to practice, keep them practicing and keep them on top of what they should do. There's no limit to where they can go. Yes.
Oh, well, how do you recruit for participants for your
Okay,
program?
we're going through the apartment complex, the Towers, and that's a central location in Waukegan. But a lot of my recruitment, like some of the first young people I worked with, I met them through local churches.
Okay.
And they would come to my home, and we would teach them different things, and we would try to steer them in the right direction and try to talk to them and not at them, because the first group that I dealt with were teens, and they were almost, they were men-child. They weren't men, but they weren't childs anymore,
Okay.
children anymore.
Okay.
So I had to deal with them on that level. And, you win some, and I won't say you lose some, but some turn out better than others. And you can't give up the struggle. If you can help somebody as you pass this way, your living is not in
That'd be
vain.
in vain.
Yes, sir.
There are certain elements. We all have different talents, and everyone not going to be musicians. So, what are some elements that you're looking for a person to be a good musician?
There's a thing called perfect pitch, and this you're born with,
Okay.
and it's the ability to recognize a note. If you hear the note, you can mimic the note, or if somebody wants the note called back up, your mind can pull that particular note back up. You're born with that ability, but not every child is born with it. There's a thing called the propensity to be a musician, and some children aren't born with that, just as some children are born with the ability to be great athletes. Some children are just not going to be musicians, but all children can learn more than they know.
Okay.
All children can learn more than they know. So maybe I can't be the greatest singer. Let me leave singing out, because singing is a separate thing. The vocal cord can be taught. Now, anybody can be a good singer.
Okay.
Anybody might not be born with a great voice, but anyone can be taught to sing. But some people just don't have the ability to catch the music in. So if they're in that environment and they love it, I'm teaching how to work with computers. I'm teaching people skills.
Okay.
Music doesn't only involve the instrument, it involves the management.
Okay.
It involves other trainers. I teach singing vocal lessons, but you wouldn't know it to hear me sing. I know how to sing. I wasn't born with a good voice.
Okay.
It's a big difference. I know how to stay on note, and I know where I should be, but where I should be does not sound good to me. So there's many other facets of music beside literally the hands-on part of it. Like I said, there's the music business is just what I said, sir. It's a business.
But it's changing. It's in a state of flux too, right? The way music was when you started probably is a lot different now. It's
Which is a plus for the young people.
Okay.
Because now, with the advent of the computer music, almost anybody can be a professional producer, engineer, that type of thing. It's literally turned into a computer-driven industry, whereas before it was talent-driven. Now it's creativity-driven. If you've got the right creative instincts and you make the right creative move, you can make this particular unit right here itself. It plays, I can have it play the bass, the piano, the drums, horns.
Wow.
It does everything but sing for you.
Okay.
And it has a function that you can plug in a mic, and it's called a vocoder. And basically, it gives you a different voice than your true voice. And on key, because
Right.
So now what we've come to the place now is people without talent can do music. If your love for it is there, and your drive and your work ethic, 'cause see, that's what I teach them. It's a work ethic. Music is a discipline. The same way that you won't get good grades in school if you don't study, you will not get good at that instrument if you don't practice.
Well, what about the industry field itself? I noticed you had all men here. You have more men in the field than women, or is it? open to women also?
It's open just as much to women. I noticed that a lot of times the female students that I have, they don't see as many of other girls involved.
Yeah.
So they're kind of bashful and shy back from it. But I'm trying to change that now. So what we're going to be doing with this new program here at the Waukegan High Rise is we're going to be having them separate. We're going to be having girls do one thing, and then we're going to have boys do one thing, but they're literally going to be doing the same things. But we're not going to put them together. We're going to let them grow with their own for a minute. Then we're going to start mixing them together, which you're going to teach social skills for one. You've got to learn how to deal with women the same as you have to learn how to deal with men, boys as well as with girls. And we're going to be, doing a lot of things. We're going to be teaching morals, but not so much teaching them as living and practicing them. So they can learn through sight, they can learn through being guided in that direction. We're going to have a certain standard that we set. And we're not going to go below it for nothing or nobody because your child wants to be tantrum bound or whatever. No, there's going to be a certain standard that going to be expected of the children. But if the parents are willing to come and be a part of it, children have a tendency not to clown as much when their parents are there.
Yeah.
Right. But when the scripture said a child left to itself would bring you to shame. So we really need the parents' help in these endeavors. And we're going to do it with or without their help, but we would love to have their help.
I know school districts, for example, with the budget cuts, the first thing they cut
is the music program.
Music.
The first thing they cut was music.
And athletics. And I wonder, music is so important.
It's
and,
cultural.
We have... I think the local high school, North Chicago High School, that my kids went through, one of the top music departments in the district.
Really in the state.
It's in the state, okay. Robert Presley was the last to retire, and I think they're reducing that music department, real low,
When you take away the music, Stevie Wonder had an album out in the 70s called Songs in the Key of Life.
Okay.
Music is an intricate part of life. If the average person would just take a look and see how involved music is intertwined with their life, every time you watch a movie, every time you watch a television series, every time you watch your little favorite program, what do you hear? You hear music.
Okay.
There's music being played in every television. Wait a minute, let's go further. Every commercial you listen to, there's music. Every time you hear the radio on, even if it's not a song per se, if it's an advertisement, music is intricately interweaving into our society. And for music to be taken out of our schools, it's literally stealing away opportunities from our youth.
I know there are many, probably hundreds of kids that have graduated have done well, but I can name a few that everyone would know. John Gary, I don't know whether you heard him or not, but John Gary is the great saxophonist, and he's world known now. He's
he works with the Whispers.
Okay,
yes,
out of California now. He's and also another one, Jeffrey Sparks.
Yes, he's out of Atlanta.
Out of Atlanta, great. Now suppose that. Well, I can go on, and I guess, and I mentioned about my three that were done, and
there are more in this community that have done it. What is his name? What's the mayor? Rockingham. There's a.
Oh yeah, Greg.
Greg Rockingham used to play with Guy Lombardo.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to play you a little something here. We seem to be running out of time, so I guess I'll play you a song or something.
And we don't want to run out of time without your talent there.
Oh, now I grew up learning classical music. And that's what I love. I remember one song in particular because I got a whipping from my parents for not getting it right.
Okay.
Now, that might seem harsh, but now this makes a living for me. I needed that.
Okay.
It goes like this. And I remember this song. Like that, okay? We've done things of our own. I love jazz, and like I say, I was raised up in classical music and church music, but a combination of the two. That's my personal favorite, is to put that classical training I have with a music that you can feel. And my church background. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and grief to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer.
Tell us about the great renowned singer, I guess, Ray Charles. I guess, and now everybody want to know, how can he be such a great artist
And not have sight.
Yeah, right.
That's a good question. That's the same thing I have to do with my piano students and my guitar students. I put the book under their chin
Okay.
where they can't see the keys.
Okay.
Because once you've touched this piano, these keys aren't going to move. They're going to be in the same spot they were in the last time you reached and touched them.
Okay.
Let's see here. Find it. They're not moving. So you really don't have to be able to look at them anymore. They're going to be there. And that's how Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder and others that are blind are able to do this, because it's muscle memory. It's almost like how Curry makes the basket from no matter where, and he keeps shooting it.
Amazing.
Because he's just practiced it over and over. And it's the same thing with the music. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. When you start out on piano lessons, it seemed like a big instrument. But actually, the piano is only a 12-note instrument. After you reach the 12th note, it starts over again. So you just go, and the music alphabet is only from A to G. You have flats and sharps, so that gives you 12 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then you have 5 flats or 5 sharps. Other than that, it's the same thing over. See how they have the same tone, just at a higher level? It's the same note. So a whole piano is only 12 notes. So the more you do it, the more it starts to become part of you. So it's not like, now I don't play notes anymore. I play feelings. I play the emotions, what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. Sometime in a church service, there might be some minister putting this thing, giving his word, and I'm following where he's going. He might go, see, and you feel it. And it's going to be in the same place every time. It's not losable. And that's how I do that.
Amazing. No, we just left African American History Month in the month of February, but the greatest composer of all times, Ludwig van Beethoven,
Yes.
just happened to be African American. Well, he was a
German.
Spanish Moor,
Yeah.
with dark skin, and it just runs in the
Oh, and our genes?
genes.
Oh, we're blessed.
It's
A lot
amazing.
of times we shortstop ourselves. But we as a people, and there's nothing that we can't do. We rise at everything we touch, at education, at medicine, at music, at the fine arts, at crime, at violence.
Okay.
Everything we touch, we rise at it.
Right.
When they brought us to this country, the weak died on the way.
All right.
There's nothing that your child, there's nothing that your daughter, your son cannot do, because we are strong. God has given us that extra something. When we didn't have anything, we had God.
Okay.
And when you pray to God, things happen.
Right.
And a lot of us are living off the prayers of our ancestors, of our
Okay.
grandparents. And that creates for us to be creative, talented, athletic, mind-wise.
Tell us about everyone cannot play piano. You have to be ambidextrous.
Yes, sir. Everyone cannot be virtuosos, but everyone can get a working knowledge of it.
Okay.
And like I said, with the advent of the new computer music, once you get your working knowledge of it, that's enough to carry you on if you've got enough oomph or unction or enough drive within you. And that comes not just from yourself, that comes from your parents.
Before we end the program, though, you mentioned you're a founder of Pump Hard Productions. Where did Pump Hard come from?
My wife says it sounds like we're not even going to get into that, but she says it sounds like one of them funny sites or whatever you call them, porn sites, yeah. But the name itself came from my younger brother. And he's real creative like that.
Okay.
And he gave me the name. Hey man, you pumping out some music. You ought to call yourself Pump Hard.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So
yeah.
I use that for my studio endeavors. I record whatever type of music people that come in, they ask me to record. Now, if I have my own personal, thing that I want to do, it's going to be gospel or inspirational music. In public, that's all I'll go out and play. But in the studio, I can play. I've taken lessons in several types of music. My favorite is country and western. But,
Okay.
I do the rap thing. I do pop music, whatever they want at Pump Hard Productions. And that's a subsidiary of Beach Park Productions. And that was founded by a man named Harold Gibson. And I really want to give him some credit because he was very instrumental in Pump Hard Productions becoming what they are today.
Years ago, there was a African American that was #1 in the country.
Yes, sir.
Country and western. I forget his name.
Pride. Charlie Pride.
Charlie Pride. Yeah. Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We want to. You're involved in youth mentoring and
Music.
And music training programs locally.
Yes, sir.
How do people get in contact with you?
You can reach me at 224, and I don't mind giving you my cell phone number because I want the young people to have a chance.
Okay.
I'm accessible. 224-441-4539. Or you can email me at pumphardproductions1@yahoo.com, or you can visit my website and get that information also. And that website is pumphardproductions.com. Once again, that's pumphardproductions.com.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Minister David Jones, for taking time for your busy schedule and also your young music students to come out and let Lake County know, because Lake County should know that there are people interested in mentoring young people, to make a difference here in Lake County and probably in their lives, So I want to thank you for coming out and bringing Brian Bennett, performed on guitar, Isaac McCoy, piano, and Don McCoyley, right?
Yes.
Also on
Clayton
piano.
Jones.
And
Clayton Jones.
Clayton Jones.
There you
So the other young man that in his
In his 60s.
60s that so there's an opportunity for others that are in that want to learn and get involved in the music field. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you've enjoyed the program. This has been Community Forum, and you can find us on online, drbrooks.tv. This has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host.